guys, on this video we're going to take a look at Albert 6.1. I have 10 problems for us to take a sneak peek at. We're going to begin with number 1. It's asking us to choose which probability distribution meets the criteria of Mrs. Jackson. Now remember, in order for it to be a probability distribution, all of your probabilities must be between 0 and positive 1, and the sum of all probabilities must add up to 1. Remember that. And we're also looking for a sample space that has 5 outcomes. It doesn't tell us what kind of outcomes, it just says it has to be 5 outcomes. So for example, option A has 5 outcomes, but when I add up the probabilities, the sum is greater than 1, and we want the sum to be equal to 1. So you're going to try to find one that has exactly 5 outcomes, and the probabilities must be between 0 and 1 and add up to exactly 1. I hope that helps you. Let's take a look at question number 2. Here we are asked to identify a scenario that is not described by a discrete random variable. So let's talk about what is discrete. Discrete is a variable that is countable. Like there's not infinitely many outcomes in between. So like if I can count something like on my fingers, that is discrete. So my hint to you here is eggs are countable. I can count them. If you can physically count them as whole numbers, and there's not fractions, infinite number of fractions in between or fractions in between, then it's discrete. Let's take a look at number 3. Number 3 says a distribution of a discrete random variable, and then you have to pick which one best describes a discrete random variable. Remember, we've done this in class a lot, where I've asked you to describe something. That is my hint to you. Hopefully you know what to do when we describe a distribution. Moving on, let's take a look at number 4. Stay tuned for the correct answer here, because we haven't actually discussed all of the outcomes that are choices in this problem. We are asked to identify which statement is false with regards to random variables. So, which one is false? Option A, the mean or the average of a random variable is a weighted average which takes into account the probability of each possible outcome. That is true. That is actually the definition of expected value. B, the expected value of a random variable must always be a whole number. I think we have done some calculations in class where we calculated expected value. Go back in your notes and take a look at that. See if we were allowed to get numbers that were not whole, that maybe involve decimals. C, the mean and expected value of a random variable are different vocabulary terms that express the same quantity. That is true. Mean and expected value are the same thing. They mean the same thing, they are just different words. D and E we actually have not talked about in this class, and both of those are actually true statements. So hopefully you can figure out which one is false. Let's take a look at number 5. Concept of law of large numbers takes into account over a long period of time, lots of repetition. You want to repeat the activity over and over again, and over time it's asking you, it tells us something about the end probability. Let's take a look at number 6. Okay, on this particular problem, we're going to use our formula for expected value. It asks us to calculate the mean number of eggs. Mean number is also known as expected value. And if you need to be reminded of what that formula is, remember E. Let me blow this up a little bit. Expected value is also the mean, which is equal to the sum of each probability times each x value. So we're going to take all of those each probability, multiply it by each x value, and then we're going to add it up. Our calculators will do a fine job of helping us out on that too. Let's see. So that would be 0.18 times 2, plus 0.41 times 3, plus 0.39 times 4, plus 0.02 times 5. Remember, you can put that into two different lists in your calculator, then do stat to calculate one variable statistics. Number 7, we are asked for the mean and the standard deviation for the number of days it takes for a first-class letter to reach its destination. Again, you can plug this data into your calculator, list 1, list 2, calc, or stat, calculate, and then one variable statistics. Make sure you're pulling your data from L1 and L2 though. In this case, we are asked to find the expected total dollar amount. So expected is a clue that we're going to use our formula for expected value. You can plug this into your calculator and find the mean or the expected value, but you have to do one additional step when you're done, because this is only telling us the expected number of hats that we think the vendor is going to sell. But you got to multiply your answer by 20 before you select your final answer on the list below. Okay, so on number 9, I am realizing that I selected a problem that doesn't tell us that it's normally distributed. So although we can actually solve this problem, it actually requires that we use a rule that is not necessary for this course. I'm just going to give you the answer. It's Miss Mac's gift to you. Make sure you select E. It's my treat for listening to my lovely voice. So E is the answer to number 9. Let's take a look at number 10. So this is a probability question. Although we don't know anything about normal distributions or discrete distributions, I am given other probabilities. It says 31% are involved in music. So let's go to our notes. Probability of music. And then it gave us another probability. At the same school, 19% are involved in the music program and on the honor roll. Music and honor roll is 19. And honor roll is 0.19. Should probably put a 0 in front of this one, right? let's go to the question at hand. It says, if a student is selected at random from among those who, so we know they're in music already. What's the probability that the selected student will be on the honor roll? So, what's the probability they're going to be on the honor roll if I already know that they're in music? So you kind of got to reword it. So let's see here. What's the probability that they're on the honor roll if I know that they're in music? And we've got to remember that formula. So the top gets probability of honor roll and music. The bottom gets, which one? Probability of just music. So, oops. I'm trying to get it all in my screen and it's not being very helpful for you, is it? So my final answer down here is going to be 0.19 divided by 0.31. And I was super nice on that one, wasn't I? Ta-da! I think that's it, right? So hopefully that helped you guys out. Hopefully you do really well on this assignment. I hope you have a terrific afternoon. You guys take care. Bye.